start with some forward-looking statements, of course. And I'm going to breeze through a lot of this stuff. I assume everyone knows, heard our story. Anybody watching these things these days are interested in this industry. But what I'd like to point out is we're an exploration company in Northwest BC, the Golden Triangle. And I've been running around there for an awful long time. And even though in this 12 months of challenge, let's say, or 5 years of challenge or even longer, the amount of activity that happened in this last 12 months up there is actually extraordinary. And lots of things have happened, kind of whether they went under the radar because it's just nobody cares at the moment. There's been some big things that have happened in the area. And again, we won't spend a lot of time, but we've seen bigger players come in. Yamana bought a piece of SCOT. The Lundins are in the area now. We've seen $100 million cash deals between companies, some big royalties bought. And this is all in 12 months. And so, I think we're in the right jurisdiction, and there's a lot more going on than I think people are realizing. So we're happy to be in the middle of it. Scottie Resources is, we're into our sixth season now. We started with 400 hectares. And we've accumulated a land package now of about 52,000 hectares. Part of our strategy is we thought consolidation is very difficult to do. And maybe if we threw our hands at that it might be interesting to somebody. Although the focus of what we do right now is at Scottie Gold. But as you can see, we've got a very attractive land package in and around a couple really interesting stories. So we're happy to be there. We think that we've accumulated all the land that we can, and we're really ready to work it. Infrastructure we possess is also equally impressive. Got an all-season road up to the Scottie Gold Mine. There's a brand new power line that went up to Bruce Jack, goes right alongside our property. In the town of Stewart, we have shipping infrastructure with a deep water port right there. And then the Scottie Gold Mine is, to remind people, is a permanent gold mine. It has 7 kilometers of underground workings and rail systems and an old mill and such. You can still move the trains up and down the tracks just with your hands. So we've got a good area. We've got fantastic infrastructure. And again, we're just moving along quick here so I don't get out of my time. But that's the picture of the original 400 hectares of the Scottie Gold Mine. This is where 80%, 85% of the work is being done. If you look over to the right, you can see the blueberry zone. We'll talk about that in a moment. That's the Scottie Gold Mine. We're looking right at the 4 black dots, kind of follows a profile where that mine goes into the mountain. And then we've got a project on the other side of that mountain called the Domino. This is a different view of kind of what we just looked at, but just to kind of put in perspective where these things are in relation to each other. These are the 3 zones or the 3 projects that we're working within the Scottie Gold Mine, and we've been leaning into these pretty hard. This is our 3rd year drilling. I've highlighted some of the highlighted drill holes from the last couple of seasons. We're very happy on the blueberry. It's a new discovery for us, and we're working on something totally different than our initial thoughts were, and it's starting to play out really well. But as you can see, we hit a hole last 2 years ago at 7 grams over 34 meters. Surprised us. We've been following up with that and did a tight drill program last year. And even though the market was so bad, these are some of the grades that we came up with, and we've been expanding on that an awful lot this year, and we'll speak about that in a moment. Scottie Gold Mine is what attracted us. This is how it all kind of started. These are from our exploration area holes that we've done. And again, we've done very little drilling at Scottie. This year we've done a lot more. But if you look at some of those results, we couldn't be happier. And then the Domino zone's never been drill tested. We did that last year. We found high grade on surface and more importantly on strike from Scottie, and did a lot more work last season to help us with this year's program that we'll speak about in a moment. So Scottie's done a total, we will have completed over 14,000 meters in the next couple of weeks of a 3 diamond drill program going consistently for most of the season. And so we're an awful lot of stuff coming down the pike. And if you know that we're following up on some pretty interesting successes over the last 2 seasons, it's not hard to get interested. If you get excited, you do. But I mean, to not be interested would be a shame. So if you look at, we've highlighted some of the past results that we've had in and around the Scottie gold mine. I really want to show that they're true exploration holes. We've been doing big step outs from day one and really trying to get a sense, is there something worthy of really leaning into it? And we're quite happy with what we have seen, and we're very happy with what we are seeing. Again, we've highlighted some of these drill results from our last couple seasons. 11 grams over 11 meters. When that's a 50-meter step out from the actual mine that produced a half ounce per ton, that gets interesting. Last year we had a 109 gram over 2.5 meter on the ozone, which is largely unexplored. And again, if you know that that's a 30-meter step out from any drill hole ever done, that can get us excited. Rest assured, this year's program has followed up on the success that we've seen at Scottie as well. And we've done an awful lot of drilling, all exploratory drilling for coming up for this season. We'll talk about the Blueberry. I'll look at my time. Okay, great. So in 2019, we had a theory and we were trying to drill a certain east-west type vein. And well in advance of hitting our target, we came across something that was interesting and totally surprised us. And this is that 7.5 gram over 34 meter hole. And that was at the end of our last hole of 2019. Knowing that's a very shallow hole, and most of these holes, or all these holes, are very, very shallow and on a road. So we explored that last season, and we did a tight drill program. And we highlight that tight drill program you can see on the right. And so we've been following up on this year. We believe we have found some north-south structure that potentially could be feeding all the east-west structures that we've been seeing at Scottie. So we've been working on that theory quite hard this year. We were extremely happy with last year's results. And we're going to have about 6,000 meters completed on Blueberry for this season, testing big step outs to the north and big step outs to the south, 200 to 300 meters. Where, in a perfect world, we're going to come out with 700 meters of strike length at the end of this season. And so I think people should stay tuned. News for that should be coming soon. We started the program at Blueberry this year. And yes, the labs have been slow, like everybody's been saying. But, we anticipate our holes are going to be coming in the near future for sure, because we've been very in close contact. So it's coming soon. As you can see, we stepped out to the up top there where we had some big holes, and then down to the south. So that news is coming soon, and we're excited to do it. I'm going to go by this one really quickly. This is our first drill program on the Domino on the other side of the Scottie gold mine along strike. We were pleased with our results. We hit high grade, more importantly on strike. We did a bunch of geophysics and gave us some good targeting for this season. And we've done about 2,000 meters just in Domino this season, and we've actually completed it. So all that rock's been on the table and in the lab as it's already in the lab. One of the transactions that we did at the beginning of this year is we took over another company called AUX Resources, and mostly because it fit our land package very well. They're very complementary. AUX had a drill season last year and had some really interesting success. There's 270,000 non-compliant ounces on this property. It was a past producing mine as well. And so we took that over and we did 2,000 meters following up on some of the successes from last year's program. And as you can see, there's a couple really interesting intercepts, 2 ounces over 4 meters, or 69 grams over 4.14 and 62 grams over 2.24. So we've took this southwest vein and we stepped out way to the north, south, and we've gone under that with about 2,000 meters. And that program was completed about 3 weeks ago. all that rock's been looked at, and again, we're waiting for labs. So that's another exciting thing here. And we'll summarize kind of what people can expect to see starting in the near future. We won't speak about the CAMBRIA project, but it's 5 past producing mines. When we put AUX and Scottie together, this is what we come up with. We think it's an attractive exploration opportunity, gives us optionality, for down the road and getting some interest on that sort of stuff. Not going to speak about Red Cliff so much, but what I'd like to speak about is what have we completed this year? Okay, it's our third really drill season. We'll have 14,500 meters and perhaps more, but we're going to come across the line with that for sure. It's really a weather thing as we speak, and it snows on the top of the mountains right now. So we're going to continue drilling Blueberry until we can't. We did 4 geological surveys this season with some 3D IP and some 2D IP, as you can see, kind of spread it all around. And then we did some downhole EM right in and around the Scottie gold mine. It's our first time doing that, but we're excited to see how these things play out. If you look at the distribution of the meters, we did about 2,000 meters at Georgia River, 6,000 in and around Domino, yet to be determined, 4,000 in and around Scottie, and then another 2,000 at Domino. And all really, really nice looking rocks. I probably touched almost every box that was came off the mountain. So we've spoken that I think we're in the right jurisdiction. We're in the right place to be trying to do business. The geology speaks for itself. We've got lots and lots of 100-gram meter holes following up on models that continues to seem to hold in. So it just gets better for us. And then we have the right people. If you look at my board, and I truly run the company via the board, a lot of experience there in different factions, but they know this industry well, and they keep me on point without a doubt. So this is something easy to go and look at in the future if you want to go on the website and with a lot more technical work. I mean, the highlights again, we're in the Golden Triangle. We think we're in the right jurisdiction. Accumulated a land package that's a commanding land package. It's over a dozen transactions. We have 7 past producing mines on our tenures. We do have a very, very strong management team that's been with me pretty much from the beginning, and so they know the project well. As a company, we're doing fine, even though we've done all these meters, and you have to prepay for all this work. We're sitting with a cash position right now of $5 million. There's some bills will come out of that before the end of this season, of course, but we're sitting in a nice position financially. I think 3 years ago we didn't have an institution, and I think this pie chart might even be a little light. We have a financing we did about 3-4 months ago. Brought another 9.9% partner, some mining industry partner, and so that's we're excited to see that. Again, Eric Sprott's 13-14%. So we've got, between myself and 3 partners within this, we're over 50% of the company, and so we're in a strong position that way. We're riding out a crazy market, but we're happy with the work. The company's never been stronger, and we just keep soldiering on.